Now there's a wonderful time management technique called rock, pebbles, sand. What you do is you take a jar, put in some rocks, then put in a whole heap of pebbles, so smaller stones, and then pour in a whole heap of sand so it all dribbles down and fills it up. Then you take everything out of the jar, and you do it the other way around. You put the sand in first, then you try and put the pebbles in, and then you try and put the rocks in. You find that actually everything doesn't fit when you do it that way. And this is an analogy for an approach to your work. If you do the really little fiddly things first, then you try and do some bigger things, and then you leave the big task till the end, you'll find that you don't get everything done. But if you do it the other way around, you do the really big tasks first. So this is the big rocks. What's important? What's urgent? What you need to get done? Then you do the pebbles. What's your next priority? And then you fill it up the rest of the little bits and pieces with the sand. These are the little bits of fiddly things. Then you do those. You'll find if you approach your work that way, you get so much more done. It's amazing how you find time to fit in those little things, but if you're trying to find a big block of time for that big task that you should have worked on, it just doesn't happen. Now, if you're someone who gets irritated by the thought that there's all these little fiddly things there, you can actually modify this by giving yourself a set time, like 20 minutes, 30 minutes, knock off as many fiddly things as you can, send that email, photocopy that sheet, file that away, but strictly at the end of that time period, that's when you stop and you go, right, now it's time to start on the big task. What's the main, big, important, urgent work that I need to get done? And you focus on that first of all. Another technique I quite like is the rule of 3, and that's where you have a list of everything you need to do and you go, oh, that looks overwhelming. What you do is you choose the 3 most important things and you number them 1, 2, 3. And then you don't let yourself move on to the second one until you finish that first one. I find this incredibly powerful, this technique, because once you're working on the important things and the things that have to get done, what I used to do is go, oh, look, I'll do the things I don't mind doing, do all of this, and then it was all of a sudden was, oh my goodness, I've got all these things I should be doing. Now it's a panic because I'm out of time. So by choosing what's most important and always working on that first, it takes a lot of that time pressure off. And it's funny, when you start these things you didn't want to do, often you find they're not nearly as bad as you thought they were. It was just the thought of them that was really putting you off. So that might be a technique worth trying as well.